Kuźwa, jestem narąbany tymi eliksirami. Porobiłem się. Więc no, lecimy. No, dobrze poszło, wydaje mi się. Jak to wygląda w dzienniku? No dobra, powiadam mieć inkwizytora, zrobimy na końcu. Mamy opcjonalnych zadań pełno. Pawła Skolna. Zerknijmy na mapę, gdzie oni są wszyscy rozsiani. Dobra, wszyscy są w Sazawie. Reszty nie widać niebieskich indykatorów nigdzie indziej. Więc lecimy po kolei. No bo to nie jest temat, który należy zostawić na później. Więc ogarniamy. Dobra, tutaj czy tam? Chyba tam. No, ciekawe, czy dokonując pewnych ruchów, których dokonałem już na etapie wtedy, jak Johanka miała tę wizję, czy ja jestem w tym momencie w stanie jeszcze ją z tego wyciągnąć? Wydaje mi się, że tak, choć ciężko powiedzieć. Ale chciałbym tutaj zagadać z jak największą ilością ludzi, póki działają eliksiry. No tak, ale ten jest chyba, kurde, gdzieś u góry, tak? A tu są schody. Ciemno, panie, nie widać.
God be with you.
I need something from you, sir. I suppose you heard that Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor and is facing charges of heresy.
I did, and it's most disturbing news.
What you might not know is that he's agreed that I can defend her at the trial.
You? Do you even know what to say?
Sure I know. It'll turn out just fine. Trust me. But I need you to testify at the court. In Johanka's defense, of course.
Naturally. You don't think I could just sit here and do nothing? Besides, the bishop has already insisted that I appear before the court.
Oh. All right.
One moment. I apologize if I was a little hasty. This whole affair has left me anxious. I appreciate that you want to defend her. However, I don't think it would have any effect. No offense, but I don't think you'll be able to achieve anything in court. I'm afraid the Inquisitor will judge as he sees fit, whatever anyone says. But I have an idea how you could help.
Oh? How's that?
Flee. With Johanka, of course.
No a tu powiem szczerze, ciekawy zwrot wydarzeń, dlatego że ja byłem pewien, że on będzie zeznawał na korzyść Johanki, no bo jest w niej zakochany, ale to, że on powie, żebyśmy uciekali, to jest niespodzianka.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm sure Johanka will be acquitted by the court and everything will be all right. Running would just confirm the Inquisitor's suspicions, and she'd always be looking over her shoulder.
I don't agree. As I said, I don't believe you can affect the outcome of the court. If Johanka flees, yes, she'll have to lie low for a while, but in time it will all blow over. You can take her anywhere, as long as it's far enough from here. A girl like that will always find her feet. She can easily hide out somewhere where she's not known. Maybe there could even be a place for her on my estate. Think about it. But whatever you decide, if Johanka comes to any harm, you'll have me to answer to. I'm very fond of her, and her of me, and I don't want anything to happen to her, understand? But if everything ends well, I'll show you my gratitude, I assure you. Farewell.
No jest to jakaś opcja. Na pewno jest to opcja warta rozważenia. Choć no uważam dokładnie tak jak powiedział Henryk, że ucieczka doprowadzi tylko i wyłącznie do tego, że przez resztę życia będzie niepewnie patrzeć przez swoje własne ramię. Ale czy jesteśmy w stanie ją w sądzie obronić tak samo, no jak powiedział Sebastian, że raczej inkwizytor będzie miał w poważaniu zeznania kogokolwiek i tak osądzi według własnego uznania. No, może tak być. To by oznaczało, że już w tym momencie i tak jesteśmy w temacie skreśleni. No, kto wie. Dobra, Nikodem.
Henry, I must...
Brother Nicodemus,
You've heard something?
the Inquisitor has decided that Johanka will be tried, but he's agreed that I can defend her.
That's really quite unusual. It must mean he hasn't come to a clear conclusion yet.
Yes. I'll get her out of it.
I'm afraid it may not be that easy. The thing is, I expect Johanka will say the same things before the court that she's been preaching.
What are you saying?
Well, I've been thinking about what she's been saying, and it seems to me her preaching has a certain progression. Are you acquainted with the notion of the three orders of man?
Not really, no.
It's like this. It's said that everyone has their God-given place and purpose on earth. Laboratores, oratores, and bellatores. Those who work, those who pray, and those who fight. The common folk are born to work, to reap the fruits of the earth and to obey the laws of God and man. It is the purpose of the nobles to protect the people and the church against all dangers and to maintain peace and justice on earth. And the church in turn has the task of caring for the spiritual welfare of all, ensuring the salvation of their souls and bringing solace to the people in times of hardship, so that they can endure their earthly trials and enter the kingdom of heaven.
But what's all that got to do with Johanka?
Well, I noticed in her first sermon she primarily addressed the concerns of the common folk.
Quiet!
And in the second, she criticized the nobility.
Czyli ma to schemat dokładnie taki sam, jaki on opisał.
So you think she might start talking about the church?
Yes, I'm afraid she might. I dread to think how that might end up. Henry, you must warn her against that. She must show humility before the Inquisitor, and the wisest course would be to admit to being wrong. She's rather stubborn, but perhaps she'll listen to you.
But the Inquisitor said no one's allowed to see her.
No one except the Inquisitor's own men. You'll just have to think something up. I'm afraid Johanka's fate is mainly in your hands now. I'm relying on you. May the Lord watch over you.
Spróbuj przekonać Johankę, aby przemawiała z pokorą. No i będziemy musieli dostać się pod przebraniem jednego z ludzi Inkwizytora, ale pogadajmy dalej z kolejnymi świadkami.
The Inquisitor is going to try Johanka in court.
Oh, Lord. I hope she's acquitted. I was absolutely devastated when they took her away.
I need people to speak in her defense, and I'd like to ask you to do it.
I don't want to go there. Really. I'm afraid of that Inquisitor. But you helped me, and so did Johanka. It's only right that I should try and help her. But what am I supposed to say there? I'm just a simple village girl. I don't know anything about these things.
That doesn't matter. You just be yourself. It should be enough to talk about all the good Johanka does here, and how she helps others. I'll send for you if you're needed.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Dobra. Kolejna dziewczyna przekonana. Ale mi tutaj został indykator u brata Nikodema. Zeznanie w sądzie.
Witnesses can be summoned for Johanka's trial. So I wanted to ask you if you'd give a testimony. Maybe some learned speech in her defense?
I'd be glad to do it. Johanka deserves my help. Such testimonies could carry a lot of weight. You should try and get as many as you can.
No, staram się, panie, staram. Co się stało z Johanką? Inkwizycja, jeśli chodzi o biskupa. Wierzysz Johance? To ciekawy dialog.
Do you believe Johanka is really being visited by the Virgin Mary?
Well, yes, Henry, I do. The things she says and the way she speaks. She doesn't sound like herself at all. I know she can't read, so where else could she have got it? Frankly, I can't think of any other explanation. Within the bounds of this world.
A to jest akurat świetny argument dowodowy, bym powiedział, na sąd, że nie umie czytać, a przemawia jakby czytała Biblię, nie? Dobra, to tutaj mamy kolejnego świadka ogarniętego. No, ale wydaje się, że to były te jedne z najprostszych tematów. Bo tak, tutaj mamy żonę szewca. Czy ojca Fabiana. Kurde, no i to tu jest, no, tu jest żona szewca i ona się nie zgodzi. To trzeba by chyba jechać do niej w pierwszej kolejności, póki jeszcze mamy te eliksiry. Kurde. Znanie Pawła z Kolina. Dobra, to na koni jedziemy. Czasu jeszcze trochę jest. W pierwszej kolejności tą, no te wszystkie problematyczne tematy trzeba by ogarnąć najpierw. Będę jechać od razu tam, na to dolne miasto. No ale z tego co widzę, eliksiry minęły połowę, więc no mamy niecałe 5 minut. Wydaje się, że powinno starczyć. Dobra, jest B. Okej, B to jest ten, który nas interesuje. Tam w piekarni jeszcze mamy temat. Dobra, szewca mamy tutaj. Przy okazji mógłby nam zacerować ubranie. Ambroży, ktoś nie pojechał, czy żeś już wrócił? No dobra, to wszystko.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Ja sobie ceruję ciuchy, nie? Zamiast lecieć tam, kurde, zeznania wyciągać.
Say to this.
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. Finally, a reasonable sum.
Dobra, to mamy naprawione. Ja bym jeszcze chciał zobaczyć, czy jak ja ściągnę to, czy ja stracę coś na charyzmie. Nie, chyba nie. Ja bym sobie to ściągnął, bo to tak dosyć dziwnie wyglądamy z tym na głowie. A nie będziemy raczej teraz walczyć z nikim. Dobra, tu tracimy już charyzmę, to tego nie ściągam. Dobra. Przynajmniej bez tego kachola na łbie.
Well, how did it go with that husband of mine?
Well, I tried all sorts of things. I did everything in my power. But nothing helped.
Oh, Henry. You were my last hope. All I can do now is pray to the Virgin Mary for a miracle.
No właśnie, no tak ci pozostaje, a zeznanie w sądzie?
I need your help with something. I'm sure you've heard. Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor.
Who hasn't? The whole of Sasso is talking about it. And the Inquisitor was asking around about her.
I'd like to ask you to appear before the court and say something in Johanka's defense.
I understand, but you'll have to forgive me. I don't want to show my face there. Never mind speak for Johanka. I wouldn't want people to associate me with her. What with her being a heretic, see?
People and their evil tongues. But I understand. It's a tricky business. I won't push you.
No i nie mam opcji. Niestety jej przegadać. No a to znaczy, że faktycznie, no pisaliście mi wtedy, że te niewykonane zadania będą miały tutaj konsekwencje w postaci wydarzeń w trakcie procesu Johannki. No i faktycznie tak jest. No ale liczyłem, że może coś jeszcze tutaj retoryką ugram, ale nie ma w ogóle takiej opcji. Dobra, jedźmy dalej. Kogo my tu mamy? Ojciec Fabian jest. Spróbuj przekonać Johannkę. Okej, tutaj jest opcja wejścia, czyli oni ją tutaj trzymają. No dobra, to jedziemy do kościoła w pierwszej kolejności. No a co za tym idzie, nie musimy się jakoś specjalnie chyba śpieszyć.
Father, the Inquisitor has had Johannka thrown in jail.
I know, son.
He's planning a hearing.
Rightly so. It's about time this whole matter was dealt with.
What do you think about it then?
As I say, it's a good thing that the matter is being investigated. The things Johannka has been preaching are, to say the least, disturbing. Who knows what these dreams are that she speaks of? And her words are only putting ideas in people's heads and leading them astray. Now, instead of going to church, as they should, they go to her in the false belief that they will find solace. It's creating a chasm between the people and the church and leading them away from the true teaching left to us by Christ. They're misguided and swamped in heretical ideas.
No okej, książulek nie jest po naszej stronie, ale przemówiła do niej Maryja Dziewica. Johannka nie jest heretyczką.
But Johannka is no heretic. She's a good, kind girl who's only trying to do the right thing. I'll defend her.
Suit yourself. But mind you don't get ensnared in her fallacies. And leave it to the bishop to judge the matter.
Of course.
God be with you.
Okej, zadanie mamy odhaczone, jeżeli chodzi o ojca Fabiana. Ale cudów się tutaj po nim nie spodziewam. Następny przystanek. Rządca Sazawy, czyli nasz stary, dobry znajomy, który, gdyby się dało, to już by nie żył i nie dałoby się z nim gadać w tym momencie. No na szczęście on chyba nie wie, że my stoimy za tymi akcjami.
God be with you.
Puścisz mnie tam, do Johannki. Nie mogę z tobą gadać nawet. Co, jakoś nocą może spróbować tu przyjść? No, musimy z nią pogadać jakoś. Ale myśmy mieli tutaj jeszcze kogoś, czy nie? On tu poszedł, dziad jeden. Dobra, czyli została nam Johannka. Został nam... O. Kurde, no ten typ z Kolina, no to z nim było tam w miarę okej, mi się wydaje. Wójt, gdzie ty tu łaź? Chłopie. Włości ogląda. Zapytaj o bandytów i werbowników. Dobra, to sobie też dobrze byłoby zrobić. Mówi się o tutejszym hyclu. Darowizna dla dobra ogółu. No to są zaszłe tematy, nie? A darowiznę daliśmy, nie? Daliśmy mu połowę.
That donation to the town. Did it help?
Indeed. And even some townsmen were inspired to promise donations too, whether it's out of the goodness of their hearts or to glorify their own names. In the end, the important thing is, I don't have to demand anything from the townspeople for the common good. Imposing extraordinary taxes never does much good for a bailiff's popularity. Once again, I thank you in the name of the whole township.
No i spoko, dobra.
I've heard talk about your knacker.
What's my neighbor been up to this time? Digging up corpses again? Or robbery?
Did he do that?
No, he didn't. But people thought he did. His house is nearby, between the rat house and the church. He's a decent man, a good man. But he's the knacker and the gravedigger.
That's good to know. I've got a few questions for you, Bailiff, if you don't mind. Have you been having some trouble around here?
And what business is it of yours? Did someone complain? Who sent you here?
No one complained, though I'd be interested to know why you think they might. It was Lord Radzig who sent me. He'd heard word that some unsavoury characters are holed up round here.
Begging your pardon? Well, what the devil does Sir Radzig care about it? And I keep hearing the same from Sir Sebastian. And he's got no dog in this fight either.
No dobra, coś tutaj możemy z niego wyciągnąć. No, wskaźniki bardzo wysoko. Musi tu być kilku przyjezdnych.
You have an inn and the horse trails cross here. There must be many travellers come seeking work and not all of them honest men.
Aye, it's true. Bedlam has broken out once or twice, and restoring order was no easy matter.
Has there been anything like that lately?
No, it's been quiet here lately. Now that I think about it, I don't recall coming across anyone here like that.
Nobody looking for soldiering work, maybe as a merchant's guard?
There's always one or two like that. But if they don't get the job, they move on.
No to nie specjalnie się dowiedziałem. Mówią, że werbuje się tu bandytów.
I heard some recruiters are meeting in Sasau. Seemed likely they get up to mischief and people might complain.
Do you think that people here complain and I don't do my job? Nothing of the sort. Old Lederman's the only one that comes complaining, but I pay no heed to him.
And what does this Lederman complain about?
Lederman is our local tanner. Lives by the quarry, which is where, well, some youngsters go there to wrestle.
They go there to fight and that doesn't bother you?
Why would it bother me? Much better to brawl there than in the tavern. At least in the quarry they can't damage anything but each other. And my catchpoles go by there from time to keep an eye on things.
Okej, mamy jakiś lead. Porozmawiaj z sazawskim garbarzem. Tak zrobimy.
Sir Sebastian? Who's that?
Sebastian Baron von Berg. He's here under monastery law to protect us against all this unrest in the land.
Why should he care about the city? That's not his jurisdiction, is it?
Quite true. I'm in charge of this city, but he keeps telling me I've got cutthroats hiding around here, and I should be more vigilant. The goal of the man.
Have you heard any talk of strangers in the town? Maybe people acting oddly?
Nothing worth mentioning. Sure, there's been some talk about the miller. Folks saying they've been seeing him doing this or that, or people visiting him at night, but he's never done anything. He's a decent enough man, for a miller.
I'll try asking him if he's heard anything.
He lives on the other side of the river, by the bogs. But don't go getting your hopes up. He might not be able to help.
No to z nim już gadaliśmy i gówno nam pomógł, szczerze powiedziawszy.
Thank you, Bailiff.
No, sporo tutaj przegadaliśmy tematów. Ale o Johance żeśmy nie zagadali w końcu, czy jak to jest? No właśnie.
Master Bailiff, Inquisitor Yaroslav is going to try Johanka.
I know. He was here asking questions too.
Oh? What did he want to know?
Various things, like how things are here, whether people are honest, whether we observe the fest days and so forth. And then he asked about Johanka, about what she preaches, whether people come to listen to her and that. He's been talking to a lot of other people in Sasau too. I even heard that Katra, the swordsmith's wife, invited him to dine with them.
That's interesting. Thanks for telling me.
Rozmawiaj z Kaśką, żoną miecznika.
Was he just asking questions, or does he want you to testify before the court?
Yes, he did ask me to testify, and I'm none too happy about it.
I see. And what are you going to say about her?
It depends what I'm asked, but there's not much I can say. I don't know Johanka very well. She seems virtuous and self-sacrificing to me. She's never done anything wrong, and no one here ever had a cross word to say about her. Until recently. Maybe some gossip about her and Sir Sebastian. But I've heard similar talk about half the women folk here.
Pomogła wielu ludziom, no to prawda.
Johanka has helped a lot of people here, selflessly. Her heart is in the right place.
True. But then there's that preaching of hers. Folk have been falling out. They're split according to whether they believe Johanka or not. I don't know quite what to think of it myself. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'll wait and see what the learned bishop has to say.
Czy przemówisz w jej imieniu za hajs? Kurde, no nie wiem, powiem szczerze, że to takie jest słabe. Ciekawe, ile by chciał.
Couldn't you add something good to your testimony for Johanka?
Spadek reputacji.
Show my gratitude substantially.
What? Are you trying to bribe me to commit perjury? The Inquisitor will hear how you're going about defending Johanka.
Kuźwa. No dobra, spróbujmy się retoryką wyratować.
Good lord, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I expressed myself badly, that's all. What I was trying to say, rather clumsily, is that I'd be very glad if you were to speak on Johanka's behalf, because she really deserves it.
Well, I'll overlook your clumsiness then.
Thank you, Master Bailiff.
Good luck then.
O Jezu, jaki człowiek jest durny. I idzie w takie masakra. Do typa chciałem przekupić, a już z nim miałem tyle przecież problemów. No dobra, mamy w gruncie rzeczy wiele tutaj ogarnięte. No z Johanką trzeba będzie pogadać, ale to chyba spróbujemy zrobić w nocy. Nie wiem, kurde, no bo jak tam wejść? Drzwi są zamknięte. Może jakoś z tyłu budynku będzie dało się do niej dotrzeć. No na pewno jest to kwestia do sprawdzenia. Johanka powiedziała mi, że jest jeszcze jeden grzesznik, który potrzebuje ocalenia. Ja. Aha, no tak, no i może to faktycznie też warto... Aha, mamy 3 dni. No to ja nie wiem, czy my zdążymy teraz na kolanach do tych użyc popierdzielać, żeby odwalić tą pielgrzymkę. No nic. Myślę, że skupimy się na tych tematach tutaj w Sazawie, jak już jesteśmy. No wszystko to jest genialnie wręcz zaprojektowane. Dla mnie absolutne mistrzostwo świata.